Alrighty, we are live. And it says that my internet connection is low, so hopefully this will work.
Mhm.
Let me know if you can't hear me for some reason. All right, so Kim, thank you so much for saying yes to allowing me to share your reading with the world.
Yeah.
If anything does come up that you are not comfortable with, stop me because we are live so that your friends and family can listen. And so anything that you're not comfortable with, just say, I'm not comfortable talking about this, and we'll move on. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So the way that I work, every medium is different. And the way that I work is I communicate with spirit on many different levels. So I can sometimes, depending on the spirit and the way they communicate, I'll see them, I'll hear them. Sometimes I'll just sense them. Sometimes I'll just download the information that they have to give you. Sometimes I can smell and taste the different vices that they've had while they were here on Earth. But I'm just reading the energy. So energy can change, energy can shift, especially living energy while they're still here on this Earth. So sometimes I can also pick up on energy that of people or individuals or situations that are currently happening real time, not the spirits that have passed away. Does that make sense? So it's a different energy, a different
Yeah.
read. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Um, and so I try not to interpret the information I get the best that I can. Sometimes my ego does get involved. I do my best not to allow that to happen, but if it does, I apologize. You have different life experiences than I do, and so sometimes they'll show me something that um, means something completely different to me than it would mean to you. And if my ego comes in and I interpret it, then I'm interpreting it incorrectly, and the message is meant for you, not for me. And so I do my best not to let that happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Got it.
Perfect. And then if you are wanting to connect with someone who has passed away that is not voluntarily coming through, let me know and we can put a call out there to see if they're willing to come in and talk with us. All right.
Okay.
Okay,
Alrighty.
perfect. So I always meditate on your energy prior to connecting with you, just so I kind of have an idea of what's going on in your life. Kind of putting a call out there to spirit, letting them know, come on through. I'm going to be talking to her. So if you have any messages, come on.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I was meditating on your energy, it was really beautiful. You were surrounded by a white light and almost like you were like a respite for spirit. And so I thought that that was such a beautiful picture that they were showing me because it lets me know one, you're gifted yourself. Spirit already communicates with you on a regular basis and you also have a very loving, nurturing energy about you. And so what spirit was telling me was even spirit that is not physically connected to you or biologically connected to you while they were here on earth, they'll come to you just to kind of feel that human love and to be able to kind of rest with the energy of earth in a safe place and they find that safe place with you. And so I thought that was really beautiful that
Yeah.
they were sharing that. um, they also let me know that you're kind of going through like a spiritual awakening right now. You're really excited about everything that you're learning, but there's also some insecurities there with your abilities. They're
Mm-hmm.
incredibly strong and powerful, and you don't completely trust them to the level that you should at this point. And so they were wanting to let you know that you're incredibly gifted and to trust your intuition. Does that
Huh.
make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect. Um, excuse me, I got this horrible cough. Um, Another thing that was coming through was that you're a natural healer, that we were placed on this earth to heal others, and that you've gone through some trials and tribulations in your life that has caused you a lot of pain, but you've worked really hard to get over that pain and to kind of use that pain to catapult you towards stepping into your healer role on this earth. Does that make sense to you?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Um, and they really want you to understand your gift. And they're showing me that you are going through different processes to learn your gift, but to just really throw yourself into it like full force and trust it. And once you're able to do that, everything's going to open up and the connections are going to start to make sense. Does that make sense to you?
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Awesome. It's interesting because normally when I meditate on energy, like it's loved ones that come through right away, but it was more like your spirit guides and your angels, like she needs to know these things, she needs to be reassured. So I was, oh, okay. All
Nice.
right. So now that we're through that, I have a grandmother figure that popped in rather quickly on your mom's side.
Yep.
And so your mom happened to pop on to this call prior to you. And
Mhm.
so I did get to say hi to her really quickly. I don't know her, just so everyone that's watching, I don't know um Kim's mom. And
Yeah.
she did confirm to me that your grandmother is on the other side.
Yeah.
And so I just want to let you know she came through. Did you know your grandmother growing up
Yeah.
at all? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And did she pass when you were in your 20s?
No.
No. Okay, perfect. Um, Hold on, I'm just kind of bringing her energy back in really quick. So, when your grandmother's energy comes in, I feel a little bit of pain and pressure in my chest. Did she pass away from something that had to do with the lungs or something that had to do with the chest region of her body? Was she struggling with something in the chest?
Um, I know that she had congestive heart failure for a
Okay,
while.
got it. Um, and that reduced her quality of life, but that wasn't the end all, the reason she died. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Because
Yeah.
she's letting me see the pressure, but she's like, it hurts and it was like an ongoing issue, but it wasn't what killed me. It wasn't what took
Right.
my life. So
Right.
thank you for confirming that.
Yep.
Um, did she see your children born? Was she here on earth while they were
Yeah, she was here when they were born.
okay, perfect. But she wasn't
Yeah.
here to see them grow very far. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So she acknowledges the fact that she was here to see your children and she's watching them grow on the other side.
Oh, nice.
And she wants to tell you everything is going to work out. It's really hard when our children grow up and they move on.
Mhm.
And it hurts our hearts to have the distance between us. And
Yeah.
right now you're going through this. You're feeling that
Mhm.
distance, but you have a really close connection with your children. And
Yeah.
they love you, they know where home is, and they have no problem running back home when there's an issue. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yep.
And so she says, you did a phenomenal job with your children. They know where they belong and they have no issues whatsoever. Um, like you gave them, you set their feet on solid ground, is what she's saying. They're very confident in themselves, they're very sure of themselves. It does look like your son, although he tries to pretend like he's strong and he's great and he's loving his independence. She's showing me some homesickness and
Mm.
almost like uh, I love this newfound independence, but I really miss my parents. Does that make
Okay.
sense to you?
Yeah.
And so she says they're going to go and they're going to fly and they're going to spread their wings, but they'll be back. Um,
Right.
and she says they're not going to move back in per se. Like they're not going to, um, they like their independence, they like their space, but they're going to be close to you. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yep.
Perfect. Um, And she just wants to acknowledge your mother as well. So she's bringing up your mom right now, and she
Okay.
wants to say hello to her. Um, your grandmother looks like a very compassionate, strong woman.
Mhm.
It looks like she had no problem speaking her voice or getting her voice across, but
Yep.
she also um, she was not malicious. It doesn't look like some moms have issues, especially in the times where they grew up. Our grandmothers grew up in really hard times, right? And
Mhm.
that can taint them and it can hurt them and it can cause them to be very um, rough around the edges.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like your grandmother was. She knew how to stand her ground. She knew how to speak her voice, but it looks like she was also very loving and compassionate. And it does look like the women in your lineage from your mom's side, like you guys have learned, like you have to speak your voice, but then also you have to take time to heal the wounds. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's just kind of acknowledging that, and she's acknowledging the fact that it looks like your mom started to heal the wounds that came down from the lineage,
Mhm.
the generational pain in your family. Your mom
Yeah.
started it, but you're completing it. Does that
Okay.
make sense to you?
I'm
I we
definitely
don't.
completing stuff, so yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, good, awesome. Um, but she's saying, had your mom not started the process, you wouldn't be to where the point where you're at today. So she's kind of wanting to acknowledge your mom
Okay.
um, for kind of giving you that push. And I don't know in what direction. I don't want to interpret it, but she's showing me
Mm.
like your mom gave you a push and then you ran with it.
Okay.
So she's acknowledging your mom for doing that and for supporting you in the process, however she's supporting you. Um, she wants your mom also to know how gifted you are. She says, Kymberlee is so much farther. Her energy is stronger than any woman within our family. And people doubt her and people make her question herself and her abilities, and that needs to stop. She is
Yeah.
gifted, and support her gifts, and let others know to stop causing her to doubt herself, because she is so far beyond her years on this earth. And we have to acknowledge that, and we have to empower her to continue with this journey.
Nice.
So that message is for your mom. Um, let me see here. And your grandfather, this grandmother's husband, he's on the other side.
I'm not sure. My
You're
mom
not
would know
sure.
that.
Okay. Okay, no worries. So I'm seeing the male figure come in, and
Mhm.
she's bringing him in next to her. And so when
Okay.
I look at spirit, the parents and the grandparents will stand. So the mom stands on the right, the dad stands on the left, your
Okay.
parents. And
Okay.
then their parents stand behind them. And so that's kind of how I see the different family lines and figure out who's who. Does that make sense to
Okay.
you?
Yeah.
So she's bringing this man, and he's standing next to her. So it appears as though he's on the other side.
Okay.
His energy does look as though it's with her. So I'm just
Okay.
going to roll and assume that it is, since you don't know.
Okay.
um, did your grandfather pass before you were born? Or you
He
don't
must
know?
have,
You
because
don't
I
know.
don't know.
Okay. Got it. No worries. I'm sorry I asked you that question. You just told me you don't know. Because it feels like let me see. Hold on. The energy is a little overwhelming, so I'm just going to quiet it down a little bit. So this gentleman that's coming through, it looks almost like he might have some kind of a military background, um, because he very stands to attention, very shoulders squared back, very good posture, a very clean cut, and I see a light hint of metals on his chest. Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Your mom says he's not dead. Does he have military? Does your dad have military background?
I think he was police.
Okay, some kind of law enforcement. Hopefully she'll answer that. So I
Yeah.
see like metals or something on his chest.
Okay.
Um, and so he's the energy that he has is almost like a protector energy. And sorry, I'm just kind of connecting with this energy. So it feels like the need to protect others, but it also feels as though there was issues where there was separation. And so I'm
Yeah.
seeing like a separation, and I'm seeing as though there was pain around that separation and not proud of it. And so the energy is coming through as um, I can protect others, but I can't protect my family. And so I
Mm.
don't know what that trauma is, but it's a trauma that feels heavy on his heart, and almost like it's so old I can't heal it. So I don't know what that energy is, but it feels like remorse, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
that energy is coming in, and I don't know if your mom can reconnect with him or something, because it feels as though I did wrong and I can't fix it. So I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah.
But that energy is coming through, and there is remorse there. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Um, and then your mom can take that information and do with it as she pleases.
Yep.
Um, and then your father, is he
Yeah.
still here on earth?
As far as I know. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So there's a father figure coming in on your side. I don't feel like it's your father though, which is why I was asking if he's still here on earth. It looks as though it
Oh,
might be his father.
or it could be my stepdad.
Oh, is that, and is he passed away?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Um, did he like raise you? Is he the one who raised you? Your stepdad?
Um, More than my dad, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Because he's coming in, and he's claiming father. So a lot of
Yeah.
times when your biological father is not here, it can be a stepfather or it can be a grandfather who kind of raised you or basically saw you as his own child.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
my
this
stepdad.
thank you. This figure that's coming in is saying, I'm your father, but I'm not biologically connected. So I'm like, huh,
Yeah.
okay, interesting. Thank you. Did he die of cancer?
Lou Gehrig's disease.
Okay, got it. Um, And did he battle it for like 12 years? Was it a while he battled
Yeah, it was
it?
a long time.
Okay,
Yep.
because he shows me it was here for a long time, and he shows
Mhm.
me 10 to 12 years is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Um, and he didn't want to be a burden. He's saying, I didn't want to be a burden on the family. And but I loved you guys so much, and you guys cared for me so well. And so it
Nice.
looks like it was like a family effort coming in
Yeah.
and just pouring love into him. And um he appreciates that because he says, you guys didn't have to do that. And I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful for
Nice.
all of the love. I'm grateful for all of the support. And it looks like he had a really beautiful memorial. So
Yeah.
um he's like showing me like the room filled with love and people, and it's not like you guys were sad about his passing, and you could have been because you saw him suffering for so many years, but you guys were celebrating the life that he had here on earth and all that he gave, and he wants you guys to know he was there and he saw it all, and
Oh,
he's so
nice.
grateful for all the love that went into it.
Nice.
um yes, and he wants you to know how proud he is of his grandkids.
Oh,
So
nice.
he's saying they're doing so well and they're so successful and they're going to be so impactful on this earth. He said a lot of young kids, their generation,
Mhm.
they don't do much. They expect everyone to do something for them, but not my grandbabies. My grandbabies, they're going to be contributors of this
Yeah.
society and they're going to change this world, and they are so intelligent and they are so bright, and they pick up your light and they run with it. And so he wants to thank you for just pouring everything, all of you, into your children, because that's what makes the difference. Is they didn't raise themselves, you truly parented them, and you parented them
Yeah.
with discipline in the beginning, so you laid a really
Yeah.
strong foundation,
Yeah.
and so you didn't have to continue to harp on them or force them to grow up. You really laid a solid foundation for your children and taught them what this world was about,
Yeah.
but then you also taught them how to pour love back into it and not allow this negativity that we're currently drowning in to take
Mhm.
hold on them. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Yep.
So he wants to acknowledge that. And he's like beaming with pride. Like the smile on his face is so huge. And he's just so grateful that he gets to call you his daughter.
Oh,
So
nice.
he's just acknowledging that. Do you have siblings?
I do.
Is there three of you total?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Is it two girls and a boy?
3 girls.
Three girls. Okay. Um, Are you the oldest?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So he's just acknowledging like all of his children. He says, I don't want to
Mhm.
leave any of them out. They're very important to me. All of them are. And it looks like he's got more grandchildren than just yours. Does one sister have children and one does not?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So he's acknowledging that. He's like, one of them hasn't given me any grandbabies, but two of them have. And so he's just
Yeah.
acknowledging all of the grandbabies, and really, really enjoying watching them grow up from heaven, and really sending them love and light. It looks like one of your sister, does she have two kids?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Is it a boy, girl?
2 boys.
Two boys. Oh, interesting. Okay. Are they a little bit younger than your children?
Yeah.
Okay. Are they still in high school?
No, one's I think 11 and the other's 1.
Oh, wow. Okay. Got it. Yeah, he's showing me like they're not in college, they're still at home.
Yeah.
But that 11-year-old must be really developed for their age, because he's
Yeah.
showing me that that child is beyond their years. So
Oh,
it
nice.
feels as though they understand the world in a very intellectual way.
Okay.
And so he's just kind of acknowledging that. He's just kind of beaming in with pride for his grandbabies, and
Nice.
like, look at my family. Look at this. This is such a beautiful creation, and I had a hand in this. So he's just kind of acknowledging that.
Nice.
Um, Wants to say hi to your mom. He loves her very much. Um, she hasn't moved on since he passed away.
Nope.
She's still, yeah. So he wants her to know it's okay to move on. She
Oh,
still has many years on this earth, and he doesn't want her to live them alone. And she deserves to be loved, and she deserves to be showered the way that with love, the way that he would shower her with love. And so he doesn't want her to go on living alone. He
yeah.
understands that she's happy. She's like, I'm happy. I don't need anybody else. But he wants her to be able to have that companionship of somebody else so that she can travel and she can enjoy this life and really enhance the life that she's currently living
Yeah.
with a companion. And by moving on, it doesn't replace him and it doesn't invalidate the time that they shared together. But that was it. It was just a time. It was a chapter in her life, and she needs to write other chapters. And
Nice.
so he's wanting her to have that message and saying, I know your heart. I love you very much, but it's time. You're allowed to move on at this point. Like, go out and find some happiness.
Nice.
Not saying that she's not happy, but he wants her happiness enhanced.
Nice.
So, your husband's parents,
Mhm.
your husband's grandfather, is he passed away?
The
On his
grand
father's side, his father's
the
father.
father is, and I believe the grandfather is.
Okay, so both his father and his grandfather.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Um, his mom's still here?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. But her parents are gone.
Nope, they're still here.
They're still here. Okay. Interesting. She's got grandparents coming through. So
Okay.
um, both sides of the family are coming in. And his your husband, what's your husband's name?
Darnell.
Darnell. Thank you.
Mhm.
I get so many spirit. I don't like to I confuse myself. I'm like this person, that person. Okay. Perfect. So Darnell's father, did he pass away? He's showing me him like crossing the stage, and I can't tell if it's high school or college. Did your husband graduate from college? Does he have a degree?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Um, it feels to me, I'm just trying to figure out why he's showing me this graduation. Hold on one second. Um, did his father pass before he graduated from high school?
No.
Do you know? Okay. Was it
It was just a couple years ago.
was it? Okay. There's something important about him graduating, him crossing the stage. So, was he the first one in his family to graduate from college?
I believe so.
Okay. So, he's showing me pride around your husband crossing that stage.
Okay.
Um he shows me the I don't know what it's called because I didn't go to college, but you know how they wear those like colored shawls to like
Mhm.
um when they're like being honored. I think it's when they're being honored, or maybe it's just them graduating. But he's showing me the colored shawl, so it looks like a college graduation to me because that's typically
Okay.
not high school where they wear those. Um, and so he's showing me him wearing one of those as he crosses the stage, and he's beaming with pride, and he's like, "My boy's so accomplished. My
Hmm.
boy's done so much for himself, and he's shown our family how to move forward and how to overcome." Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll have to ask him.
Okay, no worries. So his father's just coming in and he's just beaming with pride, and he's basically saying, like, my son has laid the foundation for those that come after him. And we are going to be unstoppable now. Our side of the family is unstoppable now because of my boy. My boy did this for us. And
Nice.
so he's just like beaming with pride about your husband and all of his successes. And couldn't be more proud of his son. It does feel like there may have been a little bit of friction in their relationship.
Mhm.
And so he's bringing up the friction, and he's saying, even though we had our differences, I never stopped believing in you and I never stopped being proud of you. So you can pass that message on to your husband.
Okay.
Um, and then his grandfather steps in. So his grandfather stands behind his father, and he
Okay.
steps in and he wants to acknowledge him. It feels like the grandfather passed away in his youth. It doesn't feel like his grandfather was here very long, like into adulthood. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I don't know anything about his grandfather,
Okay,
so
perfect.
yeah.
No worries. Um,
Mm,
so I see the grandfather. It looks as though he passed away in his youth, and it does look like maybe between birth to 12. So it doesn't look like
okay.
he had a very long time in his life, but the grandfather is also coming forward and saying, I'm watching you every step. Every step I'm there. I'm sending you love and light. When you're struggling, know
Mhm,
that I am there. Because it looks like your husband at times can be find himself a little bit down, maybe
mhm,
struggling a little bit. Um, there's some insecurities there. And so these two men are coming in and they're saying we send him love and light and we surround him when when he's struggling, when he's having a hard time. We do our best to like bring I call it the spiritual army, which is all the
mhm,
angels and the guides and loved ones. Like like recruit the spiritual army and like send it around your husband.
okay.
Um your husband, when I look at his energy, I see like eyes darting, like always being observant, like being concerned about his surroundings, not concerned as in like I can't protect myself, but secure, insecure as in I have to be able to protect my family. I have to know what's coming. I have to be watching out. Um I have to have like plan A, plan B, so if anything happens, I'm there for them. Does that make sense
Mhm.
to you?
Yeah.
Um and so with that it brings some anxiety.
Mhm.
And knowing that the way your husband's energy feels to me is I am the one in charge of protecting them and keeping them safe, and I don't know if I'm adequate. And
Yeah.
so that's where the insecurity comes in, and it causes anxiety and at times a little bit of depression, it feels like,
Mhm.
because he's put himself in such a big role and he doesn't know if he can fulfill the role he's set for himself.
Right.
um and so these men are like, can please just reassure him that he's enough, that he is
Yeah.
loved, that nothing he could do could ever take your love from him because he puts unrealistic expectations on himself.
Yep.
Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely.
And when he can't fulfill those expectations, he beats himself up over it.
Yeah.
And so just be his sounding board, letting him know everything's okay and his unrealistic expectations are not yours. And
Right.
he doesn't have to live up to those expectations because he's good
Right.
enough just like he is.
Right.
So they're bringing that in and they're like, please help him.
Noted.
He's he's an amazing man, your husband.
Yeah.
He's got so much love within his body and he's so much support. Like you are his rock. He could not imagine this world without you in it. And
Right.
you're like you are his everything. Like the
Yeah.
kind of love you and your husband have is the type of love people dream of. And so kudos to you for just being able to have such a stable and loving marriage. So um no marriage is perfect. They all come with, their own issues, their own ups and
Mhm.
downs, but it looks like you guys have made it through quite a bit and you're not giving up on each other. So
Right.
it's a beautiful marriage that I see you in. Very supportive. um, it does look like there's some kind of a career shift coming your way. So I don't know if you're looking for a new position, a new job, if you're trying to get a promotion, but it does look as though you're going to be going up. So
Yep.
they show me
That's
a ladder
happening.
and okay, good. They show
Yep.
me you going up and it feels really good. However, I also see a potential move coming and it may be out of state. So I don't know where that move is coming, but I do see boxes being packed and I see moving happening.
My
Um,
daughter's moving
oh, is that what it
in a
is?
couple
Okay.
months, probably.
Out of your house?
Yeah, well,
Or
she's here for the summer, and
got it.
so
Okay.
yeah.
Is she moving out of state? Is it like Arizona or like somewhere hot? It feels hot.
Um, Southern California.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, it feels hot. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, perfect. Um, is she gonna be like 20 minutes from a beach?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because it feels like she's close to water, but she's not on the water.
Yep.
And it feels like she loves the ocean. Like that's
Yep.
her happy place. Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Because they're showing me her like taking drives like going in and like she's gonna be overwhelmed. But she's going to go and
Okay.
stick her feet in the ocean and she's going to ground herself and you taught her to do that. And so
Yes.
they're saying you really gave her a strong foundation on how to step out on her own and she's going to pull from that foundation and she's going to be really good. And she's going to be a
Good.
sophomore. Is it her second year in college?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Is this her first year away from you though? Or is it
Well, so she did freshman year on campus, and then
okay?
this is her first year living off campus with
Got it.
roommates and
Okay.
all that. Yeah,
Got it. Thank you. So they're showing me a difference. Like it wasn't like this before.
right.
So, um, but it feels really good. It feels really good. Um, they do say be careful with the partying. So it looks like she's really
Yeah.
enjoys the independence and she may enjoy the after class efforts a lot more
Mm-hmm.
than the in class efforts. And so they're warning her about the partying
Okay.
and people will take advantage during the
Okay.
partying. So they're saying, don't let yourself get to the point where you're no longer in control because
Okay.
it feels like something could happen. They're warning about it. So just
Okay. I'll
make
let
her
her
very
know.
cautious.
Yep.
And then also they show me covering her drink, her beverages, because they
Okay.
show like something could be slipped in. So
Yeah.
don't ever like leave it and walk away and then come back and drink it. Because they're warning like something could be slipped in. Don't let that happen.
Okay.
Okay. Um, they say it's a potential of your journey and we don't want you to go through that.
Okay.
So um to be very cautious with that.
Okay.
It does look like she's got some really strong roommates. She's going to have roommates.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 2?
3.
3. Okay. One might fall off.
Okay.
So it looks like there will be 2 stable ones and then one's unstable. Does that make sense to
Okay.
you? It
I'm
feels
sure
like
it will.
homesickness or depression or something, but it looks like she'll end up having 2. And the 2 that she has are female.
Yep.
Okay. Um, I'm sorry, you said 3, but they're showing me 2, so that's why I'm saying the 2.
Okay.
Um, and it looks like one of the female roommates is going to, if not already in a relationship, will be getting into a relationship and trying to like move the boyfriend in. And the other girls are like, no, we're not. That can't happen. And so there might be like a little bit of friction
Okay.
there. So
Okay.
just FYI, your daughter's really strong.
Yeah.
She speaks her voice. She doesn't let anyone push her around. I have no concerns over her being taken advantage of in that way.
Right.
Um, and if anything, she'll kick the person out. She's like, no, this isn't happening in this house. Like,
Right.
we have rules. We're going to
Yeah.
live by those rules. This is what's acceptable and this is
Yeah.
what's not. And you're not going to tell me what to do. This, like, I'm here to. So
Yeah.
that feels really strong.
Yep.
She feels more outspoken than her brother.
Yes.
She feels like she's the voice and she's the fighter and she doesn't put up with anything. And almost like the
Yep.
brother, if she's younger than her brother,
Yeah.
but he goes to her for advice. It's
Yep.
almost like she's the sounding board. They have a really beautiful relationship. They really
Mm-hmm.
love each other.
Yeah.
But she doesn't take any shit. She's like,
Yep.
this is what's going to happen. And it feels like even like she gives him advice in like the women category, like that one's not good for you. This one's good for you.
Uh-huh.
Uh, like she sees them and she reads them faster than he can even get them. So
Yeah.
she's really good at like filtering them out and pushing them away.
Yeah.
And she's very protective over her brother. Um, but she feels really, really secure, very intelligent, very smart. It does look like this year is going to be a little bit hard for her to stay focused.
Okay.
But as long as she can stay focused, this is going to be the hardest year for her.
Okay.
And once she gets through this year, then the other years will just breeze by. Is she
Okay.
getting her degree in something like something involving computers or coding or something?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh, okay. I see her with computers. Like I see her working um almost like coding or programming or something. So I don't know what that is, but I see her mind is very intellectual and it looks like things connect with her really well, like easily.
Yeah.
This new generation, they're so good with that stuff. Like I have to have
Right.
my 10-year-old son help me get this program on my phone. But she looks really good. Your son, he's away at college right now?
No.
No. Okay. He's not in the home though. Is that correct?
He is actually,
Oh, he is. Interesting. I see him away from the house. So I don't know if he's going to be moving out as well.
probably.
Um, is he graduated from college?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, got it. Did he just graduate?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Um, and he's not yet using his degree.
No.
Okay. I don't know if he'll get a job using his degree. Like it looks like,
I don't think he will.
no, his passions lay somewhere else. It's like
Yep.
he got a degree because that's what's expected of him,
Yep.
but he really doesn't have any interest in using it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay,
Yes.
got it.
100%.
Um, he can't be boxed in. He can't be tied down. He has to like, he's a free flyer,
Yep.
and he has to be able to expand his imagination and his intellect and run with it. It almost feels like he's going to be an entrepreneur or a part of a business, like a startup or something, where his intelligence really grows and develops the company. Does that make
Nice.
sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Because he thinks outside the box. Like,
Yeah.
don't box me in. I can't be boxed in.
Right.
And he's got a really beautiful energy as well. His energy is not as forthcoming as your daughter's. He's
Right.
more loving and compassionate, and he's a healer like you, where he sees people's pain and he wants to fix it. And he's just learning really kind of how to dial that in. It feels like he's an empath, and almost like he absorbs energy of other people like a sponge, and he doesn't know what to do with it. So he kind of just like
Yeah.
sits in it, and he kind of lets it pick at his brain. Um, Wanting to solve the issues for others, but he can't steal their lessons.
Right.
He wants to fix it for them, but he can't. And so that's going to be one of his biggest struggles in life, is learning not to steal other people's lessons. Does that make sense?
Yep.
He's a fixer. But they're both, your children are going to be very successful, and they're going to be very impactful in this world. They've got a very, very strong foundation that they're coming from. Both you and your husband have done an amazing job raising these kids.
Good.
Your daughter's currently single.
Yes.
Okay. It does look like she's going to find somebody soon.
Okay.
Yeah. And just give her the space she needs to grow with this person, because it feels like she's going to bring home somebody that you would not have expected her to connect with. And you guys are going to, like, it looks like your hackles are going to be up, and you're going to be kind of like, I don't know if this is the one for you, but she's going to kind of be head over heels. So just give her the space she needs. And it does look like the individual that's coming needs her more than she needs them.
Yeah.
And she's going to help them grow and develop. And then they're both going to kind of mature together. And it looks like it's going to be a really good relationship.
Okay.
So, but they're going to come in kind of rough, and she's going to polish them. So just realize, like, it's going to kind of be like, oh, why do you choose this one?
Yeah.
But it's a really good connection for the two of them.
Okay.
Your husband's career looks really good. Did he recently shift jobs or shift positions?
No.
No? Okay. I see movement for you, like your career, but it looks like for him, like lateral shifts. So I don't know if he's going to be in the career that your husband has. Is there like different departments?
Yeah.
Okay. So it feels like he might be put into a different department, but laterally, it doesn't look like a promotion, but it looks like a shift.
Okay.
So, and it might even come with a little pay increase. Like it looks, it looks good. But he looks very stable. It looks like he's happy where he's at. And he'll probably retire from the career that he's currently in. Is that accurate? Okay,
for sure.
Perfect.
Yep.
And it looks like he's looking at retiring in like 7 years. It doesn't look like he's got like a ton more time left.
Right.
He's like on the cusp. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. And it looks like you still have like 12 years before you can retire. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it looks like he's going to kind of got the whole retirement thing down by the time you retire. He's going to be good. And then it looks like you guys are going to travel, almost like you guys have plans to like travel once you guys retire. And he's going to be ready, because he'll be like, oh yeah, I've kind of been sitting around like, you know,
waiting,
doing my passion. Yeah. Waiting. And so once you retire, it looks like you guys kind of already have plans of what countries you want to visit and things like that. And it looks like it's going to be really fun for you. And it looks like you'll bring the kids with you on a couple of trips, but you're going to really enjoy your guys' time alone.
Nice.
Like you guys have to reconnect and like almost like start courting each other all over again, because you guys have thrown so much into your kids that although you're still in love with each other, you've lost sight of each other. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
And so you guys have to reconnect. And that's really hard for you, because you're like, well, my whole life has been my kids.
Yep.
And I don't know. I don't know what to do after them. And what you have to
Right.
do is throw yourself into your husband and start dating him all over again
Yeah.
because you guys are forever. And you really need to find that reconnection because it's missing.
Yep.
Um, so I do see your son moving out. I do
Yeah.
see like the home being empty.
Yeah.
And you and your husband kind of dancing around each other, going, "What now?"
Yep.
And so,
Basically.
yeah. And so just start acting like teenagers again. Like start going
Yeah.
out and doing things together. And you guys are going to find that passion again. It's going to reignite and it's going to be stronger than it's ever been before.
Nice.
So that looks really good. And did you want to hear from anyone that has not come in?
I was hoping to hear from my cousin.
Okay, hold on. Let me ground myself and then we'll call them in.
Okay.
Okay, give me their full name 3 times.
Lisa Ann Rubitsky. Lisa Ann Rubitsky. Lisa Ann Rubitsky.
Thank you. Did this cousin live in a different state?
No.
Okay. And did she pass away in the last 5 years?
No.
Okay, thank you. Just trying to pull the energy in. Was this a tragic passing?
Yes.
Okay. Was it self-inflicted?
No.
Okay. Um, so I just want to make sure I've got the right energy. So the energy that's coming in feels I feel like a burden. Like I feel I don't want others to be worried about me. I don't want others to have to take time for me. Does that make sense to you?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I just want to, I am asking you these questions because I want to make sure I'm pulling in the right energy. Okay.
Right.
So if it's not her energy, say, Tina, that's not it. Because I want to make sure I'm pulling in the right energy. I'm just got covered in goosebumps, which is typically my sign of you're spot on when it
Okay.
comes to spirit. So let me just sit with her for a second.
Okay.
I want to figure out why this energy is coming in. Did this cousin pass around the age of 28, 29, like in the late
Um,
20s?
she was in her 20s. I can't remember exactly.
Okay. Because I feel young. I don't feel like a
Yeah.
teenager, but I feel in my 20s. I don't feel like I'm old.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Um, and then I see a child floating around. What did she have children?
No.
Okay, thank you. Did she have anything to do with horses?
I believe she like really liked horses.
Okay, because I'm seeing horses. So I
Okay.
just um
My mom might know more than I do if she wants to leave
if
comments.
she wants to comment. Okay.
Yeah.
And then were her parents separated?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Give me a second. I need to reground again and I'll have you call her in again. I'm
Okay.
not picking up strong enough on this energy. So
Okay.
you said her name was Lisa
Lisa Ann Rubitsky.
Rubix. Did her passing have something to do with a vehicle accident? Were vehicles involved?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Was it was there a drunk driver or something?
Um, I don't believe it was a drunk driver. I think the car just stopped on the freeway.
Got it. Okay.
But she was
Uh,
celebrating at an AA event. So maybe that's where
Oh,
you're getting drunk.
thank you. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, because I see alcohol. So okay, thank you. And then did the vehicle wrap around something?
I'm not
I see
sure.
like okay, no worries. Um, okay, got it. Okay. Um, so I do see that I do see a traffic accident and she
Okay.
shows me alcohol. So if she's celebrating an AA, that makes sense to me.
Okay.
Um, let's see here. I'm having problems breathing, like I'm gasping for air, like I feel like the wind's been knocked out of me. And
Okay.
I almost see like a crumpled car. So
Okay.
um she's just kind of like I'm seeing little bits and pieces.
Okay.
She was 25. Thank you so much. Your mom just mentioned she's 25.
Yeah.
Um, so and her parents, that was really hard for her when when she passed away. They had a
Yeah.
really hard time and they were struggling. Um, and it looks like her passing caused some issues within their marriage. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Almost like
Yeah.
they were at each other's throats for a second. Um, okay, so it looks like what she's saying is because you remember how I was like, I feel like a burden. I feel like a burden
Yeah.
on people.
Yeah.
Um, and it looks like she struggled with depression at times. And
Okay.
she's saying that it was because of her behavior. Like she felt like she let people down in her life.
Oh, okay.
And she felt like other people felt responsible for fixing her and that she was a burden on them trying to
Oh,
fix
okay.
her, trying to do things. Okay. Because I was like,
Yeah.
why was I feeling that? Why was I feeling that? And so she's saying, I didn't want to be a burden on people. And it looks like at times she may have contemplated suicide. Obviously,
Okay.
that never happened, but it looks like
Right.
she's showing me like, this is how I felt. This is how I felt. She goes, but I was
Okay.
just starting. I was just starting to really understand life. I was just kind of
Right.
getting my feet underneath me. And then my life was ripped away from me.
Yeah.
And it came so fast and it was so premature that I didn't have time to prove to my family how amazing I could be. Does that make
Right.
sense to you?
Yeah.
And she's like, I was going to be amazing. I
Yeah.
finally was getting it. I was understanding it. I was learning how to overcome the battles that were within me.
Yeah.
And I was starting to learn to love life. And I really
Yeah.
did love life. And I loved my family. And they don't understand how much I loved them and how grateful I am for all of them because they could have walked away from me. They could have turned their backs on me and they never did. Like
Yeah.
I knew that I could call them and they would drop everything and come help me out. I had an amazing family. And
Yeah.
so she wants to acknowledge her parents. Her parents are both still here, it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, did she have a brother?
Yep.
Okay. So she's also acknowledging him. Was he older than her?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Was it just the two of them?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So she's acknowledging her brother as well. And she says, gosh, I love you guys all so much.
Mm.
I love you. I'm so sorry that I'm not there with you any longer. I'm sorry that my passing was so hard on everybody. But it wasn't my fault. She
Right.
says, it wasn't my fault. And it could have been. It could have been my fault so many times, but it wasn't. And
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that when I did lose my life, it wasn't because of me.
Right.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
And she says, I was doing so good, and I can go out with my head held high, knowing I was doing better and knowing that I was making something of myself and knowing that my family was finally proud of me.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for all of you guys for never giving up on me and for always being there for me and loving me through all of my issues. um, and she's just so grateful. I want you guys to know she's good on the other side. She's not showing me any pain. Um, she's oh sorry, I just saw your mom's more messages. Um,
Yeah.
she's showing me that I'm not in any pain. I'm good on the other side. I'm happy. I'm watching over all of you guys. And
Mhm.
she has a baby with her. So I don't know if someone in the family has had a miscarriage or lost a baby, but she's holding a baby with her. And
Okay.
I'm not seeing who the baby's attached to, but she's
Okay.
holding a baby in her arms. So
I'll
it
find
does
out.
feel, yeah, it does feel like a miscarriage. So I don't know if maybe her
Okay.
mom had a miscarriage. Um, but it feels connected to that family
Okay.
somehow.
Okay.
And so there's a baby there. And so she wants to acknowledge that baby. So ask her mom if her mom had a miscarriage and if she did, let her know
Okay.
that the baby's with her.
Okay.
Because she wants to really acknowledge this baby.
Okay.
Um, and she just wants to tell you guys thank you so much. She loves you very much. She's good on the other side. She's happy. And she's realized a lot of the lessons she was supposed to learn here on earth while she got to the other side.
Okay.
Let's see. Is there anything else you wanted to ask her?
Is there things that she does here on Earth to like let her mom know that she's there, like little signs and stuff?
Mhm. Hummingbirds are her thing.
Okay.
She
Okay.
likes to send hummingbirds around, and it's almost like the hummingbirds will float around both her parents. Um,
Okay.
her mom specifically, like almost like, why is that? Like the hummingbird's still here. Like it kind of like, you know how hummingbirds will flit around, but they don't ever stay. It's almost like they
Right.
hover around the mom.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, and then also it looks like, does the mom have a tattoo representing her? Someone have a tattoo?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so she wants to acknowledge that the tattoo is in honor of her, and she's grateful for that. So she wants to acknowledge the
Nice.
tattoo.
Okay.
Um, is it like a butterfly or something? Do you know?
She has her face tattooed
Okay,
on her.
she's showing me like a butterfly tattoo, and I don't
Okay.
know if there's like someone's got a butterfly tattoo or someone's thinking, um, but
I'll
something
have
there's
to.
a butterfly tattoo, something about her, um,
Okay.
and I don't know if it's the mom, but I see a butterfly tattoo, so I don't know what that is.
Okay. Okay. I'll
But
find
she is
out.
also acknowledging the tattoo, the mom. It was the mom who got the tattoo of her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's acknowledging that. She's grateful for that.
Okay.
Um, your mom says several of us have star tattoos for Lisa. Oh, that's so beautiful. Awesome. I love the tattoo thing. That's a really good way to honor them because they love that. They're like, oh, that's permanent on their body, and it just makes them happy.
Yeah.
Several spirit has come through like they've got a tattoo of me. So uh, beautiful, awesome. Is there she says she also spends a lot of time with you. So like when you're meditating,
Uh-huh.
or and also coming into dreams. Like she shows me coming into dreams, but she says she
Okay.
spends a lot of time around you. Were you guys
Okay.
close?
Not super close.
It feels like she looked up to you.
Okay.
So, were you older than her?
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like she looked up to you.
Okay.
Um, and she just wants to let you know that. Like, I looked up to you. You're an amazing cousin. And
Nice.
you're doing so good. She's just so proud of you.
Nice.
Anything else? Anyone else?
Um, I don't know. I have like a couple high school friends that passed away.
Okay. Did you want to bring any of them in?
Yeah, but I don't know their middle names.
That's okay. Let me grab
Okay.
myself. You know their first and last name?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, give me the first person.
Donovan Ducharme. Donovan Ducharme. Donovan Ducharme.
Did you guys go to high school in the Bay Area?
Sacramento.
Okay. California is still close
Yeah.
to us. He's showing me almost like inner tubing.
Mhm.
So I don't know if he um like floating down the river almost. So I don't know if there was like if that's something that he used to do that he enjoyed. It doesn't look like it's what took his life, but it looks like something he enjoyed doing. um, do you know how he passed?
Motorcycle accident.
Okay. Oh, okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Mhm.
Um, and was it like around 22? Was it shortly after he graduated high school?
Yeah, like a couple months after high
Oh,
school.
wow. Okay,
Yeah.
because he's showing me he's very young, like, he didn't
Yeah.
get far past high school. Okay, got
Yeah.
it, thank you.
Nope.
Um,
Mm.
and he was being really stupid when he was, like,
Yep.
showing off, like, speeding, um,
Yep.
and I feel real like, my head is pounding, so almost like I don't know if he was wearing a helmet, but it feels
Nope.
like okay, thank you, because it feels like, "Oh, my head's, like, exploding." Um,
Yeah.
thank you. Um, and it looks like he almost lost control of the motorcycle. It doesn't feel like someone hit him, but it looks like he was
Yeah.
just being stupid and then he lost control of the motorcycle. Does that make sense?
Yeah. He was speeding and then he slammed into somebody, like
Mhm.
T-boned him.
Yeah. And almost like he ran a red light or something happened, something happened to where he's like, it's my fault. I was
Yeah.
just being stupid and
Yeah.
immature. Like I thought I was invisible. And
Yeah.
because of that, my life ended prematurely.
Yeah.
And it looks like his parents were devastated. Like
Yeah.
his mom, like the air was just ripped out of her body.
Yeah.
And he's so sorry for that. He's saying a parent should never have to bury their child. And it
Yeah.
was because of my immaturity and me just being just stupid is what cost me
Yeah.
my life. And I'm so sorry for that. And I want
Yeah.
everyone to know that I realize now what I did and it was not intentional. And
Right.
I wish I had not put you guys through that trauma. And I wish I was still there on earth. I left way too soon. I had so much still to do. I had plans for myself. I was going to make my family proud. And
Yeah.
instead, I let them down. And so he's just very apologetic. He says, I'm
Yeah.
okay on the other side. I'm not in any pain. And I've got my footing now. I know how to manipulate the energy over here. I know how to communicate with people on the other side, from this side over to you
Mm.
guys. My mom knows I'm with her all the time. My mom feels me. She knows I'm here. And
Yeah.
she still loves me. She still talks to me. She still thinks about me every day. And he said in the beginning she was so mad at me. She was so mad at
Mm.
me in the beginning, but she's her heart's rested now.
Nice.
So, but he said, "I didn't know what I was doing. It was just a
Yeah.
stupid mistake."
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. But he still spends a lot of time here with the people here on this earth.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Anything else?
Mm. I just have one other friend that passed away.
Mhm. Okay. Did you wanna talk to them as well? Or
Sure.
okay, let me reground myself. Okay, go ahead.
Isis Maharaj. Isis Maharaj. Isis Maharaj.
Was he sick?
She? Yes.
Is she sick? Okay, thank you. Was it breast cancer?
She had a brain tumor.
Okay, got it. Do you know if it crawled down into the lungs? Did it spread?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Okay, because
No.
I feel it in my chest. So,
Okay.
um, like heaviness, like tightness, but it feels like
Okay.
cancer. Um,
Okay.
like the tentacles of cancer.
Okay.
Um, but she had some time to live after high school. Was she in her
Yeah.
30s,
20s, young 20s.
20s, young 20s?
Mhm.
Okay. Um, and she was surrounded by family when she
Yeah.
passed away. She wasn't alone and she was
Yeah.
very loved. There was a lot of
Yeah.
pride for her and a lot of respect. It feels that all it feels like the family migrated here. It like she was
Yeah.
was she first generation American?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, because I still feel very heavy culture surrounding
Yeah.
me. Although we're in America, we don't live by the American standards.
Right.
We hold our culture in
Yeah.
strong regard. And she was so intelligent.
Yeah.
Her family was incredibly proud of her. It almost feels
Yeah.
like she graduated with honors,
Yeah.
a valedictorian maybe. Like she was just
Yeah.
so incredibly intelligent, and everyone in the high school looked up to her. She was so kind. Like she would
Yes.
give the shirt off her back to anybody. She would give her time to help people study. Like she would tutor people.
Yeah.
Um, she was an amazing, amazing child.
Yeah.
Um, I say child because it just feels like I never got to the next level.
Right.
And I was so sick.
Yeah.
But I had to graduate. I had to graduate because my dad needed me to graduate.
Yeah.
And so she pushed and pushed and pushed. And it feels as though she was sick in high school, but she ignored it because
Mm,
she needed to do her studies, and she needed to prove to her dad that she could do it. It was very important for her um, to live up to her father's standards.
okay.
There was something about the dad where
Okay.
she needed to prove herself to him,
Okay.
um, and she did.
Yeah.
She says, I did,"
Mhm.
and I was always loved, and I was always cared for, but I
Yeah.
knew that I had high expectations placed on my shoulders, and
Yeah.
I didn't want to let anybody down. She's
Yeah.
okay on the other side. She's no longer in pain. And she doesn't spend as much time here on earth watching over everybody. She
Mhm.
kind of really enjoys just being free on the other side,
Okay.
and just really enjoying the energy and all of the love and the positivity on the other side.
Yeah.
She really enjoys that.
Nice.
Mhm. But she's not in any pain any longer.
Okay.
And she's like, and I was able to make my family proud for the short time I had.
Nice.
So yeah, she's happy about that.
Good.
All right. Well,
All
thank you
right.
so much for
Thank
allowing
you.
me to read you. Just let you know, your mom says um, it looks like I think it was her father we were talking about being in the Navy, or her. Oh,
Okay.
it was your father. Was it your
My
father?
father was in the Navy. Yeah.
Yes, Navy, and has the Silver Cross. So she just
Oh,
wanted to
okay.
acknowledge that
Oh,
because
okay.
I was seeing the medals.
Yeah. Good to
Yes,
know.
and then
He's still
oh, maybe
alive
that
though.
was her father. No, that was her father, because she follows that up with he and mom divorced when I was little. So there you go. She gave some confirmation. So
Yeah.
that was your grandfather was in the Navy, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, and then he had the Silver Cross, and then it looks like him and your grandmother divorced when your mom was
Yeah.
little. So
Yeah. He was
all
never a
right,
part of my life. So,
yeah,
yeah.
awesome.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
thank you
thank
so much.
you.
You have a wonderful day. All
Yeah,
right,
you too. Bye.
bye bye.